What's going on, guys, in the works, and welcome to a very special video where I'm going to be talking about my recording process. How does Jake record Battlefield 3, as well as a review of a new card that I've been using, the Live Gamer HD Portable, which is an updated version of the card I've been using for the past year, since about June of last year, which is the Avermedia Live Gamer HD. So it's essentially a more compact version of that. And all the footage you've seen on my channel recently has actually been with this capture device, as well as the footage you're going to be seeing here. But what are the big changes of this device? Well, first of all, if you're not a huge console gamer like me, you probably got annoyed pretty quick if you ever wanted to sit down and record Xbox on the rare occasion, because you had to unplug your monitor, and they've updated that, so this is a standalone device. You don't have to have it plugged into your computer and then loop it through the PC if you want to record Xbox footage. It was always a really big pain in the butt for me to have to unplug my monitor and then plug my Xbox in. It was a huge process that I do not look forward to doing again. But let's take a look at the device itself, talk about some of the things I like, some of the things I don't like. You can see the packaging on this thing is awesome, and I'm a huge fan of packaging. Cool packaging always makes it for me, because I don't know what it is. It's always nice to open, unbox something that just looks good. And this definitely was really nicely presented. It was nice and compact, like the units itself. You can see it's got my name engraved on there, which is nice. It's a nice little touch, but it's a really small unit, and you can actually control it by the center button. That's all you need to push. And you can see there, it can go from loop through mode to standalone mode. So let's say you have a console and you just want to run it through this thing and use your PC to record the gameplay. You can switch it on there and it can be a standalone unit because it is powered through the USB. You don't have to hook it into anything special, and that's one of the nice things about it. It's nice and light. It's easy to just slip in your pocket. It actually comes with a case if you want to take it with you wherever you want to go. So if you're going to like a trade event or something where you want to record gameplay on the go, it's very practical for that. However, when you compare it to the PVR, which is my other capture card that only works on console, it kind of blows it out of the water in every facet because it's much smaller. It actually has an internal device that will eat the CPU for you. So you're not going to be going into this, having a huge draw on your CPU when using the Live Gamer. Whereas if you're using the PVR, it definitely requires your computer to do all the encoding, whereas the Live Gamer Portable will do the encoding for you. So it makes live streaming much more practical. In fact, you can actually live stream from a crappy laptop with this from a PC if you really wanted to. So it's pretty versatile in that respect. And this is actually some console footage, and I think it actually records console footage much better than the PVR. Granted, the PVR is working up to about 2 years old now, but they have updated the PVR. But the one big advantage is the software. I think the Live Gamer comes with much better software because it gives you more choices on which file formats you want to use, what file sizes you want to use, the bit rate you want to use. So there's a lot of choices you can go in there and actually edit with the Live Gamer that you could not do with the PVR software. Now, I know there's a lot of third-party software out there that the PVR is actually compatible with. When I recorded on a Mac, I actually used ITV, which gave you some stuff that you can kind of finagle around and decide how rich you want your video to look and stuff like that. But I think the software on the Live Gamer HD Portable definitely blows the PVR out of the water. Now, there are a few downsides if you're only going to be recording PC. Because you have to constantly unplug the HDMIs, you constantly have to be unplugging it. The blue light can actually get kind of annoying if you have it next to your bed. You always have to unplug that when you go to sleep, otherwise you have this huge blue light on. And honestly, I think that if you're going to strictly do PC, it might be a wiser decision to go for the PCI Live Gamer itself. And that's going to be a choice between, what you want to go with. They both practically work the same, though, in terms of CPU usage. Now, I did notice there was about a 2 to 3% less usage of the Live Gamer Portable than the Live Gamer HD. But that's pretty negligible depending on the actual setup you're running. And yes, mine is really, really dusty right now. I was actually cleaning it out the other day, and I was like, well, I might as well record it and show you guys what it looks like on the inside of my PC. So I've actually been working on a second build. That's not my main build. That's actually my recording PC with the 670 in it. I tend to run a 680. But it is a pretty messy wiring job there. But you can see that, it records console pretty crisp. But let's go back and look at some of the PC footage and talk a little bit about what it doesn't really do the best in terms of PC recording. Now, if you're familiar with Fraps, you'll know that it records in whatever frame rate that you've kind of got it set at. So let's say you want to record in 1080, you set it at 60 frames per second, it will record in that, but it also uses a lot of CPU in terms of, how much frames you're actually going to lose because you're recording. Whereas the Live Gamer, it does the encoding for you. You're not losing CPU power. Like I was saying, it pretty much takes around 5% of your CPU. That's about it. So it's really good for live streaming. Anytime you see me live stream, it's from my main primary PC with the Live Gamer. Now the portable I think is much better in that respect because, like I said, I noticed around 2 to 3% less CPU usage. So if you're really trying to squeeze out every ounce of your CPU while you're live streaming, the portable is a pretty good option. So I definitely think that's a strong suit, is streaming. So if you're a hardcore streamer, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to use the Live Gamer Portable. It's probably the most practical device on the market for that. Now there are some downsides if you're just recording, especially if you're really into montages and cinematics, because the software caps the 1080 recordings at 30 frames per second. And then that may not seem like a big deal at first, but if you're doing a lot of editing, you know, the more frames you have, the easier it is to do editing, as well as it looks a lot crisper. Another big disadvantage to that is the fact that you get a lot of screen tearing with the Live Gamer Portable. And the reason behind that is because you're recording in 30 frames per second, however your graphics card and your PC is playing at around, you know, with my particular build, I'm getting anywhere between like 150 and 200 frames per second if you're playing on low, which leads to screen tearing in your actual recordings. And I've gotten several comments of people talking about that, and unfortunately that's one of the big disadvantages to the Live Gamer. There's really no way around that. It's been around since the first rendition of the card, the Live Gamer, and it's stuck around for the Live Gamer HD Portable as well. And I know that's confusing to differentiate between the two, but the Portable, it still has the frame rate issues, you know, the screen tearing issues that have been around since the Live Gamer HD, and that's unfortunate because it does make subpar recordings in terms of PC gameplay. But you know, that's really up to you. If you're willing to have a little bit of screen tearing every now and then this is definitely a very solid option. I mean, I've been using it since June. I haven't looked back. You know, I'm willing to take a little bit of screen tearing every now and then, but it is an issue that I really wish they would get fixed. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's actually anything they can do about something like that. So if you're looking for a good live streaming capture device, if you're looking for a capture device that will not give you a hit in frame rate while you're playing, the Live Gamer HD Portable is definitely going to do that for you. But like I said, you will get a little bit of screen tearing. Now, one workaround for that I have discovered is playing on a higher setting will actually remove that. In a couple of videos back, I actually played on Ultra, and you can see that there's literally no screen tearing at all. And the reason behind that is the less frames you're getting, the easier it is for this device to keep up, because for whatever reason the screen tearing happens when you have, like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of frames over the 30 frames per second that you're actually recording in. Now, I'm no technical guru. I'm sure someone can explain why that happens, but it is an issue. But playing on the higher settings is a way to kind of work around that to where you can actually get crisper recordings, and that's really not an issue. So that's another thing that you need to consider. So in summary, let's look at some of the pros and cons of this device, talk about whether or not I think it's better than the PVR. Now, in terms of console footage, I think this is much more versatile. If you're going to be recording and streaming a lot of console and PC at the same time, this is definitely the card you want to go for. It's much better than the PVR. It eats that CPU usage for you. You don't have to worry about it, you know, while you're streaming, it eating into your CPU, because this device does the video encoding for you, whereas the PVR does not do that. And I still think it looks pretty good. Now, there is screen tearing when using this though, because you can only record in 30 frames per second in 1080. However, if you're recording console gameplay and you go into 720, there is no screen tearing because you can record in 60 frames per second. So that's a way around it if you are using console. Now, as a PC gamer who primarily plays on PC, primarily streams on PC, I definitely prefer this card over the software like Fraps and DxTory. Now, if I was ever going to go hardcore into cinematics and a montage, I would highly suggest that you look into something like Fraps or DxTory, just because you don't have to worry about the frame rate issues that do happen with this particular device. So I definitely think it's a good device. I have no regrets using it. I've been using it for the past year. And if you guys have any questions about this at all, feel free to send me a message, because I always answer questions about recording and file formats and stuff like that. Anything that I may not have addressed in this video that you have questions about, I'm all ears. I usually always respond to my private messages in terms of recording and rendering and stuff like that. So pretty good device. I'm really happy with it. I like the results of it. I like being able to get back on the console every now and then and record some stuff, which is nice. and I don't have to sit there and untangle like 15 wires in order to get it to work. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this short little review. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me either in the comments or the private messages, and I'll try to get as many as I can answered, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.